Okay, so The Beach House is a Shudder horror movie. It was released in 2019, or was in uh, film festivals in 2019, and was officially released in 2020 on Shudder. And I bought this on the DVD because I've heard people talk about this. Oh my god, you gotta watch Beach House. Beach House. Go to Beach House. So watch The Beach House. A little story. I started this before I went to visitation with my son. And I was not expecting this. And then I went, maybe I was halfway through it, maybe a little bit more. But it was just very interesting. So the story is that this college couple, Emily and Randall, are going to Randall's dad's beach house for the weekend to reconcile after they broke up. They come back together, trying to work things out. And when they get there, they find that there's an older couple, a couple of Randall's dad's friends, staying there. And they decide to share the house. And then something strange starts to happen. They notice that the water has a weird consistency. They notice there's a weird glowing thing in the trees. And a strange fog has rolled in. And then it gets worse. This stars Noah LaGrosse. Now, if you recognize that last name, it's because he's the son of James LaGrosse, who was in Phantasm 2, and the weird guy that Phoebe dated on Friends. But I'll tell you, there are times where he looks like his dad in this movie. I swear, there were times. But yes, I will say though that I've watched a couple reviews and they say that the beginning of this film is slow. But I also agree with the fact that it works. I agree that it's slow, but it also works. It's a slow build, but you get to know these characters pretty well. You know, Randall says that he's, got permission from his dad to be there, but then the other couple is there, so at least you believe, well, he's not really telling the truth, and that he doesn't want to, he left college, and she's wants to stay in college, but he's telling her to leave college and live there with him. And it's all very, difficult. She also has a smoking habit, which I thought was gonna go somewhere, like because her lungs are so mucked up from the cigarette smoke, like the tar and stuff. She's not able to breathe in this, and she's gotta be safe. But no, I guess saying that smoking cigarettes is gonna save you from the end of the world, probably not a good message. But I'm just saying. There's only a couple scenes where she does it. Also, the older gentleman in this is Jake Weber, who was in the Dawn of the Dead remake, Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. I recognized him. Hey, I know that dude. Didn't remember where, and I looked it up. So, yes, it's very subtle in explaining what is going on, and I kind of like that. This is a body horror film. There's a lot of body horror stuff. I didn't expect that in this kind of a film. But there's a scene where Emily's on the beach and she steps on what looks to be a mutated jellyfish, and then she gets this worm stuck in her foot, which looks different at one second and then different at another. I don't know. There's a scene where she pulls it out. Very creepy. Is there some kind of infection with this? That once it infects you, it starts to mutate you and turn you into a horrible creature. But yeah, it's very. It got me, man. This got me. Like, so from what we can gather from various radio stuff that they hear, you put together, that global warming has shook something from the bottom of the ocean floor up and it's risen up, and this is like an extinction level event. This microbe is in the air and it's gonna kill people, mutate them, and create a whole new species. Basically, what it is. It's scary. I don't know if something like that would ever actually happen, but it's scary to think about. I kind of wish I didn't watch this, but it's freaky. But this is a damn good movie. I recommend it. I guess. Certified fresh Rotten Tomatoes. There. I think the acting in this is all pretty good. Nothing bad. Randall Gross. His name is Randall, but in the movie. But Noah the Gross I think is pretty good. Two younger leads, James LeGros and Liana Liberato, are better in this. The older people play kind of comatose. Like after, like when we first meet the older lady, she's quiet, and then she's like hiding, and then her character is basically has a terminal illness. But then, the way her character, after she's infected, she's just very quiet. And she like stumbles around and stuff. It's very weird. I get that. I get that's what they're trying to do, but it's just. And then the gentleman, when he's on the beach, he's just like, somebody doesn't feel right. I'm gonna go for a swim. And he walks in, and it's just like, okay, but there's more conviction in the other two. They're trying to survive. The older people have given up. And you know what? That might be how it is. The older people are like, well, we're old. We're going to die anyway. Let's just give in. Whereas the younger people are going to try to fight it. Makes sense. There is a scene that got me a little bit where they find a police car and they get on the radio and they're trying to talk to someone and they say, don't breathe it in. Like, what, the fog? And you just hear, it's not fog. And the music thing goes, dun. It's like, ooh. That's a little tingly feeling there. It's like, oh, okay. It's not fog. No, it's the microbe stuff. It's very dark. So eventually, the missus goes nuts. The miss starts drowning himself. So the other two, they find a way out because they left the car keys down at the beach. Why didn't they just grab the car keys? Why didn't they just go back down to the beach and grab the car keys? It's not that far. Sure, they could have ran into something else, but it's not that far to the beach. Anyway, they go down there. They go out. They find the cop car. They can't start it. And then they make their way to another house. They go to the neighbor's house there, and they go to another house. And they go inside. And that's where they hear the little news broadcast thing saying, bits and pieces there. And then, so our man Randall, he's freaking out because he had an oyster that had something in it before. And he's starting to mutate a little bit. And she goes down to look for, like, survival stuff. She finds some air tanks that could help. The only problem is, I was like, well, you've already breathed in the fog, so those air tanks aren't really going to do much. Meanwhile, Randall succumbs to his changes and turns into a creature, while she finds another creature downstairs feeding on a corpse. Nice shot of body horror there. She comes back up and she's forced to kill her boyfriend who is mutated. And it's kind of stupid. Like, she hits him once with the air tank and he falls back and she just hits him again. And he's dead. No blood, there's no nothing, he just, boom. I choose to believe he's actually knocked out. But who cares? She finds some keys underneath the TV, and she's able to find a vehicle and drive off, but she drives into the fog. She's not able to see. She hits a tree, and she finds her way out, but she lands in some water. Some weird, trippy vision stuff happens, and it cuts to next morning. The fog is gone. She's on the beach. She's got white eyes now, and she's saying, like, don't be scared, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. And the water comes, and it's kind of an iffy CGI removal of the character. It does something to my eyes when it happens. The water goes over her, and then she's gone, but there's still, like, you can see sort of a shape outline where they took her out. It's really weird. But that's how it ends. That's how the movie ends. There's no, hey, we figured out a cure, or there's light on the horizon, boys. No, we've got the cure. So Will Smith died. No, you can either go to this place for salvation, or you can go to this place and fight the aliens, like in 10 Cloverfield Lane. No, it's just it. So, yeah, kind of a dark ending. But you know what? I really like this movie. If a movie can creep me out, you're gonna get high praise from me. Like The Toll, it creeped me out. I only gave it a 7. But what about this one? You know what? I'm gonna voice this now, and I'll voice it in my thing. I think I'm gonna up The Toll a little bit to an 8.10. Because the more I think about it, the more I really like that movie. And I'm gonna give The Beach House a 7 out of 10. Because I really, really liked The Toll. So I'll give that 8. And I'll explain it in my ranking video too, why it changed. But yeah, so let me know what you think of The Beach House. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I get Scott. I've been Scotty. Yes, next is Mama. It's the only one left. So, see you in the next one.